Hello, my Onisi fans. It's Lance again. It's time for Pop Deuce. So, part 2, in response to his downfall, part 2. So the first thing he wants to pull up is the debate he did with some guy. So he's trying to say that he's trying to justify that he didn't really have any info on that some guy had a certain debate to go on him about, that he he had some videos that had had an offense against towards rape. Now, Onisi, as being manipulative as he is, had thought this had something to do with rape joke. No, that wasn't the case. The idea was that the video itself was offensive towards rape, not that it was about rape. And the funny thing too that he makes out is that, oh well, if the video is entitled rape, it's not rape. Yeah, that makes a whole lot of fucking sense. Just because a video doesn't have the word rape in the title doesn't mean it cannot be offensive towards rape. That's his point that he's making. He's making the point that somehow making a video without the word rape isn't offending rape. Now, as it seems he only has legitimate arguments when dealing with comedy. He is right. Rape, it was a rape joke, whatnot, and so what? But the fact here was that some guy wasn't. Well, his username is some guy, so I'm not being stupid. That's his actual username. Some guy wasn't trying to point out that he made rape jokes. He was pointing out that the rape jokes themselves were offensive. You could say that all jokes are offensive, and he points out that, jokes aren't going to be as funny to some as they are to others. Well, they weren't to some guy, and you think that's not acceptable because you like to say that he didn't like the rape jokes that you had pointed out. Now, anyhow, it's too late. I'm sorry. I'm trying to grind these up. Well, I'm not exactly grinding these up. It's just I have laundry to do before I can go to bed, and it's painful. Anyway, getting off topic here. So, Onisi was saying that some guy wasn't prepared for the videos. He was not exactly prepared, as it was frustrating for him to have to start the debate, having to sift through his countless videos. And, well, considering that Onisi had to make 3 parts of this, even though he could have just made 1, I know why he made 3 parts, but we're not going into that. You know why. It's particularly difficult. It's particularly difficult for one person to sift through a history of like 900 videos that you make, trying to find the particular ones that is offensive towards rape. Especially since, by Onisi's logic, any video that doesn't have the title rape isn't offensively rape. Ooh! Onisi logic. Put that on fucking Twitter and whatnot. I don't really care about Twitter. I don't know what the fucking point is with it. Anyhow, his second point is actually a fucking iteration of the many other points from the last video. He says that, Repsion didn't want to debate with him and whatnot, and showing all that fake-ass data, despite that. How can one person comment on videos when they have been blocked? When they cannot comment on videos, and they are probably blocked from Facebook as well, or their comments get deleted on Facebook as well, merely just because they're Repsion. He's Repsion. And he goes on again about the sock, which I've already said that he has a valid point. It's comedic and whatnot, but it still doesn't still hold a lot of ground, because you can't be making somebody cannot bring the perspective of somebody else's perspective. That person has to bring their perspectives on the table. You pretty much can't be arguing with a puppet and think that, the points you're making are 100% accurate to what the real person is saying. Like I've said, just hand up your own fucking ass, why don't you? So, he doesn't, he once again doesn't really seem to hold a lot of ground with his points, other than the fact that you should be entitled to the jokes that you say. Granted, they're going to be offensive. But he doesn't want to admit they're offensive. He just wants to admit that they are rape jokes. And that if it doesn't have the title rape, it's not rape. It's like, oh, there's legitimate rape. There's not legitimate rape. Yeah, like as if rape is something that rape, like as if rape is something that should be justified somehow. Anyway, he once again goes on to saying he's got this weird pattern going on with, oh, you don't shame my family like that, with Repsion supposedly pandering against Taylor or Laney. But the thing is that he wasn't doing this out of hate. He was doing this out of sympathy, and I would guess being morally responsible to uphold. He wasn't trying to shame you, shame your family specifically. He was trying to see the fucking underlying evil beneath you. That you fucking steal this daughter away into Mexico so you can marry her legitimately, and don't even talk to her about her specifically for a year, and then talk about her all the fucking time once she turns 18. So who knows if you got married? Who knows if she's pregnant at 13 weeks? Maybe Repsion was right. Maybe he has the accurate documents. Well, I'm not really sure. But as far as I can tell, if he cannot comment on your videos requesting a debate, how the hell do you think that somehow Repsion is wanting to debate you, despite him having a video that isn't exactly a debate in itself? And it's weird how you say that you don't want nothing to do with him. Okay, fine. You don't want nothing to do with him, but you can't say that and expect the person you don't want nothing to do with to not want anything to do with you. They have to self-consciously say they don't want to deal with you anymore. And Repsion did. He did in his debate. He does not want to deal with you anymore because it is impossible to try to make you realize the self-pathetic little egotist that you truly are. It's just gone out of control. It's just impossible to not exactly control you, but make you try to have a better perspective of things. So, yes. And the whole shaming your family thing with the snail mail, he was just trying to bring evidence onto the table. Once again, trying to be sympathetic towards the family. It's like here's how Onisi logic works in this particular situation. If someone just brings up one little thing about your family, whether it be good or bad or even neutral, it's automatically bad. That he's automatically trying to shame his family. Okay, sure, he's not exactly accurate, but so aren't you. You make all these false fucking claims that Repsion has wanted to debate you for a while now, even though it's impossible for him to comment on your YouTube videos when you have completely blocked him, because clearly you didn't want nothing to do with him, but now you do because you know it gives you a perfect opportunity to once again hear the fucking oscillations of your own voice. I don't know how you handle it, keeping yourself from fucking splooging as you talk, because when you talk, you just feel so fucking ecstatic when you do it. That's the level of your narcissism, I tell you. You masturbate to the sound of your own voice. I don't know if that's true, but it could be legitimate. It could be legitimate. I wouldn't say it would be impossible for someone like Onisi to do something like that. And I kind of feel guilty. Even watching his video once makes me feel guilty inside, knowing that I have directed more traffic towards him. Sure, I could dislike it. I could report it for, I don't know, invalid statements, if that's even a case, even something I can report for or flag it for. But it's just shame. I feel ashamed doing that. But it's just, like I've said, there has to be more people who are going to open the eyes of these fans who have been, sitting in tone to everything you say and assuming that it's valid. And sure, you could say that to me in support for Repsion, but I actually looked up the history, and I know that Repsion can't comment on your YouTube account at all. So how the hell was he able to do that? How the hell was he able to do that? And the whole some guy debacle, you want to debate some guy and Repsion. So, assuming that Repsion didn't want to debate with you and was trying to respect you for fucking once because you didn't want to do anything, you didn't want to bother with him, and he was just trying to respect that because a video response isn't necessarily a debate, it's a refuting of points, because the debate is actually something that can be transgressive between two fucking people talking to each other at the same time. Because you can't just say, oh, I don't want nothing to do with this person, they're making videos about me, I have to do something with this person now. Yes, that makes a fuckload of sense, don't you think? And as far as I know, Repsion has kept his word. He hasn't made a video about you. He hasn't made a video about you since the fall of Onisi. But you've made plenty of videos about him. And the first one was that whole Repsock thing. You said you didn't want anything to do with him. Okay. So, even by the grounds that the Repsock video itself was just merely for comedic means, which I already knew. I know that, I understand that Repsion seemed kind of ignorant with that, in my opinion. But doing that made you want to keep dealing with him. It pretty much points out, it reinforces Repsion's point that you do want to still debate with him. You still want to have something to do with this guy. When at this point he doesn't want to do anything with you, and at least that's a promise he can keep. I can't keep the promise that I won't stop making videos about you until I know that there's just no way I can. So yes, there's a little hypocrite in you, but where's the little hypocrite in Repsion? Where is the information that would somehow legitimately detract him? Because there's a little thing called Photoshop, and that thing can distort the truth. I think I will wait and hold this off for part 3 because now my laundry is done. I will see you soon, Onisi.